Pull up in motorcades. I got a show today. It's all I'm trying to do. Hustle and motivate. Choppers a throwaway. Hustle the overweight. That's why they follow me, huh? They think I know the way. Cause I took control of things. Ballin' the solo way. And if you pattern my trend, I make you my protege. Slossin' that soldier race. Niggas don't know them days. Take you in back of the buildings. Make you expose your rage. Take you across the tracks. Make you explode the face. Now you official now. But you got a soul to save. I just been cooking that new. I'm about to drop in a few. Think if I call it the great, the people gon' call it the truth. I ain't really trip on the credit. I just paid all of my dues. I just respected the game. Now my name all in the news. Tripping on all of my moves. Quote me on this, got a lot more to prove. Remember I came in this bitch, fresh out the county with nothing to lose.
No, on the ground, you. But I don't do this shit for nothing. No, not at all. You, but my money real, that you do. Oh yeah, so I don't do this shit for nothing. No, not at all. Oh, I told her I got.
Stand for some shit that you never read. Passing through stages in life, through the ups and the downs, like it's all just another test. Live by the rules like a fucking ref. I got respect in 100 sets. Too many chains need another chest. Playing no games if it wasn't chess. Cut from that cloth that you couldn't stretch. Cut from that circle you couldn't test. Heavily pressured and under stress, even though niggas ain't sure we was a mess. Honest attempt playing to the left. Judge a young nigga by their dress. Left is no option, what they expect. Only thing we knew for sure is the bang the set. Fuck living basic, I'm taking risks. Fuck what they saying, I'm saying this. Don't waste your judgment, don't make you rich. It don't mean nothing, so fuck them, let's make a grip. Double up, triple up, make assists. Ballin' so hard you can pay a bitch. Link to the lake if they wanna fish. Make sure them niggas around you stick to the script. This should be written in stone. You should come visit my zone. Don't take my word, double check all of my flows. Ask them how hustle got on, but fuck what you heard. This for who walk down that road. Sold everything but they sold. Third off the curb. Real niggas rich as you nerds. Address to whom and make it. Look, lot of niggas fail but I won't. Lot of niggas fold but I cope. Lot of niggas gone but I'm home. Lot of niggas off but I'm on. Lot of niggas lost on this road. Couple niggas gave up they goal. Gang of niggas traded they soul. With me I'm standing on 10 toes. Looking out my Benz window. Wonder where my friends all go. Scared to get my heart to this girl paranoid. She gon' leave if my hands get low.
Let's get it. Sweet. Dope. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Happy Monday. We got some pretty good news going on this week. But before we get into that, just looking Friday play out, right? How Friday ended up playing out real quick. A little recap. Purged that buy side liquidity, shift to market structure. Second shift to market structure took that second shift, right? Got stopped out. We didn't end up purging that buy side liquidity, which is super interesting. But we were right on the direction, just a little early here, right? Because then after that, price really started retracing back down to that opening price that I was talking about. How there was very little movement below the open during London session, right? Then we got this nice little new week opening gap, right? Gap up. So let's see if we can retrace back into some of that. All right, but let's start back up at the top. last week. Nice retracement into this busy. Right, created on was that 10/7/24. So I want to see if we show signs of wanting to go for these, right? This all-time high here. Right, same thing on the daily. Right, wick down, filled some inefficiencies here last week. Also filled in some inefficiency here, purging some relatively equal lows, which is sell side liquidity. Candle bodies respecting this busy, right? Create on 10/11, right? You can see that. So I want to see like signs of overall, right? Continue working our way up higher. But just given that new day opening gap, there's also no wick on this candle. Kind of looking at something like, right, using Monday and Tuesday to work its way down, right? Maybe come below the open. Definitely come, or at some point, definitely want to see price come below this open here, right? Whether it be Monday or Tuesday, right? Kind of just thinking about how like that weekly candle is gonna form, right? If overall I want the candle to close fairly high, right? Would anticipate, you know, earlier in the week, get a little retracement below the open, right? Kind of get that ICT power of 3. Come below the open, right? Before we see our expansion higher towards these. Also, we're coming to the end of the month here as well, so that power of 3 within the end of the month, you know, how's that forming, right? We're probably gonna close near the high, right, but off of the high of the month. So I want to see how we treat this wick right here, right? Because if I'm looking for like a short-term, for price to get to a short-term premium to move lower, right? I want to see like how it's like, if how it's respecting this contour encroachment, or if there's any like inefficiencies, premiums we could trade to that could be our short-term driver lower, right? That's why I have this 4-hour fair value gap marked up, right? Because I can see a short-term premium getting respected, right? Seeing if we show signs of a reversal in that short-term premium to drive us towards that opening of the week. So that's what I'm kind of watching, right? Full hour. Right, purge that buy side liquidity. It's built up more buy side liquidity in the form of these relatively equal highs here, right, with last week's high, Friday. Right, looking at that. So this is that, or 1 hour Sibby, not 4 hour Sibby. This 1 hour Sibby here. So we barely tapped into that right at, what is that, 6 a.m. today. Then we got a shift in market structure here. Fair value gap, right? Pretty clean. Right, fair value gap here. We just retraded back up into there, right, during the open here. And then we also got right inside that fair value gap. Mark this up for you guys so you guys can see this a little bit better. Inside that fair value gap, We got a 1 minute shift to market structure right at the open. Fair value gap. Look good. Right, so I'd be anticipating, you know, this is our sell side liquidity right here. Alright, let's check out the 15 minute for more sell side liquidity. Yeah, definitely sell side liquidity right there. So we'll see, right? Because this is very nice here. So maybe we could trade back up into it and do another shift if we're so lucky to, right? If we're so lucky, price comes back up into here, right around this overlap where this 1 minute SIBI is, where this 15 minute SIBI is. Get another shift to market structure lower, you know, because we don't see really any inefficiencies here. Let's see on the 2 minute. Yes, here, right? But that's very wide range and not as clean as that 1 minute, right? That 1 minute shift to market structure, right? Nothing on the 3 minute, right? Nothing on the 5 minute. But you know, we could just respect this fair value gap here, keep working our way up lower, right?
Connected to God, trying to get closer. Stepping on roaches, me and my loasters. Just trying to get over, try not to get swallowed by locusts. Trying to stay focused, kinda like Moses. Like somebody chose us. It's weight on my shoulder. I feel these emotions, but still I keep going. I've been to a poet, I've been through the motions. I'm feeling heroic, but life is a dice game, and they dare you to blow it. You might get a strike, man, but that ain't gonna pay for the strollers.
Right now we're into that first AM macro session, right? But overall, right, that's looking very clean. The order flow that's going on right now, it's looking very clean. I wish that first fair value gap here was a little bit tighter, right? Right at the open right here. But let's see if we could trade back up into this, get into a little bit more of a premium before we take out this sell side liquidity down here. That would be most ideal for today's session. Very clean shifts on the 15 minute, right? Very obvious, very clean, taking out a short-term low. Displacement, super clean, right? Purge some relatively equal highs here, right? Which is that buy side liquidity. Trade up into this inefficiency, right? 15 minute overlaps with this 1 hour SIBI. Then we get displacement, right? Shift to market structure, fair value gap. Trade down, right? Purge some sell side liquidity, right? Get a little impulse move up to that same 15 minute SIBI, and then we got a lower time frame 1 minute shift to market structure inside of there, right? Because the main thesis is we're gonna come below this open here on the week, right? Before, if we want that weekly candle to expand higher, right? We want to see it move down, create that bottom wick for the week, right, before it starts expanding higher. So this is looking nice for us to get us there. You know, Monday, Tuesday, work our way down, create that bottom wick on the weekly candle before we get that expansion to the upside, right? Because we have NFP later on this week, right? So that could be either the expansion to the upside, or since it's on Friday, right, we can come off the top of the weekly candle, right? So if we're like, everything in the weekly candle is gonna set up like this, right? It's gonna create some type of bottom wick, right, on the week, and then some type of top wick, right? Monday, Tuesday, right? The candle opens where we've opened without any wick on the bottom. Monday, Tuesday, right? We work our way from where we're at right now. Create this bottom wick like this. Then we start expanding. Maybe Wednesday, Thursday, right? Expanding. Then on Friday, right? It's either we're gonna be retracing from the high of the week, right, and closing down here like this, or I can see the Friday kind of just keep pushing higher and create like a little small little tiny wick like that for the high of the week, you know. That's what I'm kind of just anticipating when I think the weekly candle is gonna be bullish, right?
Shady off the block and we'll smoke and drive. Politicking on the block to make it multiply. Keep some bitches on the team from the other side. Keep at least a pound of green, motherfucking right. 30 hours in the spot, going overtime. Then we pull up to the Fox and don't hold it down. You know this life, it got a cold design. How you go from eating lobster tail to the ocean prime? The chain to a smoker and throw it on the line. But when them gates close, keep an open mind. It ain't no force in this world like a focus drive. You gotta focus on yourself like an only child. You make your dream realer and you make your team better. You wake your game up and you make your scheme better.
They say this time, won't be like the last time, But this time, I'ma do it like my last time. I'ma go hard, my nigga. Put my name in the stars, my nigga.
Right, we're inside that first AM macro here, so would anticipate, you know, we come for these relatively equal lows down here, this sell side liquidity. But I want to see if we can get up into a little premium up here first, right? Give us some type of shift in market structure so we can get in, right, and catch price moving lower here. But this is setting up real nicely after this shift in market structure here right at the open. We even cleared relatively equal highs inside that 15-minute CB before getting that displacement right at the open. Very solid. See if we can get up into that short-term premium for purging those relatively equal lows, that sell side liquidity down there.
never made nerd moves. Hey, whoa. You keep taking me higher and higher. Yeah, Khaled, but don't you know that the devil is a liar? I know. Right back.
Right, and then after that, either seeing like a Tuesday low of week or a Wednesday low of week. Right after we come below the weekly opening, right, be looking for those long setups, those shifts in market structure higher, 15-minute, 1 hour, we're tracing down into 1 hour busies and such. That's what I'll kind of be looking for after we trade below the weekly opening price.
Can you feel it? Pop at you lanes, cause I'm sucker proof. Don't play no games, boy, I'm buster proof. Pop at you lanes, cause I'm sucker proof. Don't play no games, boy, I'm buster proof. Pop at you lanes, cause I'm sucker proof. Don't play no games, boy, I'm buster proof. Pop at you lanes, cause I'm sucker proof.
Right, and also thinking as this month's October's coming to a close, right, thinking going into next month, that same thing for the power of 3, right, but for the monthly candle. So expecting the first half of the month to possibly trade lower and then show signs of a reversal to the upside, right? Second week of November, third week of November, and then get that expansion to the upside after from there, right? So we kind of trade lower, right? Like let's say the opens right here for the monthly candle, right? First couple of weeks, kind of trade lower, create that bottom wick for November, and then we start seeing that upside expansion higher. Boom, 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 boom. Middle of the month, later end of the month, and then get that retracement right off the top. Yeah, just giving the timing of things, right? This first AM macro would want to see it reach down here. Probably won't get traded up into a little short-term premium here, but nonetheless, very solid move right here. Very solid, clean price action. A little bit painting outside the lines, right? A little mohawk, but overall, right? Overall, very clean order flow from the higher time frame down to the lower time frames, right? Super clean, super clean. So let's see if let's see us get down right here, purchase sell side liquidity, and trade even lower, right? And hit that opening of the week and trade past that, right? Today, tomorrow. See if we get like a Tuesday low of week, Wednesday low of week before we get our expansion continuing higher.
In front of your building, sitting on the steps, feeling no feelings. Last night it was a cold killing. You gotta keep the devil in his hole, nigga. But you know how it go, nigga. I'm front line every time it's on, nigga. 100 pro flow, run and shoot pro. 458 drop, playing bulletproof soul. Every few shows I just buy some new gold. Circle got smaller, everybody can't go. Downtown Diamond District, jewelers like yo. motion on the bluest ocean. Cruising. My cultural influence, even revolution. I'm integrated vertically, y'all niggas blew it. They tell me hustle, dumb it down, you might confuse them. This ain't that weirdo rap you motherfuckers used to.
I'm also just like knowing the timing of things and going into the end of the year, right? I want to start preparing for next year, right? I'm not gonna push super hard, but you know, with elections coming up a week from today, right? Anticipating some good volatility going, and November is usually a pretty solid month, right? And just seeing the market, knowing myself, I want to push a little harder, not on price, right, but on a little bit harder on challenges, right? So instead of just adding one challenge, right, to the trade copier, instead of increasing leverage, right, and going to like 2 contracts plus, right? I'm going to start doing 2 EA accounts hooked up to the trade copier, right, in combination with all the funding accounts, and start adding, right, those 2 EA accounts instead of just the 1 EA account, right? Right, so this is avoiding like over leveraging, right? It's still within the budget, 2 EA accounts, but just knowing myself, right? I think it is a good timing to, we'll take it up one little notch, you know? And that's after about, what is that? Over 5 months of just doing the plan, adding one EA account at a time, you know? And yeah, kind of just setting up, putting myself in a good position in regards to funding going into 2025, right? Because the whole entire goal for this year was just to get up to 300,000, right? Going into 2025. But now that we've hit 300,000, you know, seeing the market well, being very consistent, very disciplined with that plan, now I feel like it's a good time to add one more EA account. So shall see how that goes, right? And just consistently executing that plan into the end of the year, and we'll kind of reevaluate once we get to the end of the year. But just given trade frequency, strike rate, percentage, overall percentage going into the end of the year, it's definitely within the ball house, right? Within the wheelhouse, within the wheelhouse to add one more EA account. No problems whatsoever. Leverage is super low. Consistency is there. And just the fact that we only risk 0.5% on each account, you know, trade frequency is not that much throughout the month. it's definitely within risk management to add one more account, in my opinion. So that is what we're gonna do, right? If the risk free rate on like the T-bills, I heard this from, oh, I don't want to get his name wrong. Let me try to find it real quick. I want to give the creator of Thinkorswim. I want to say it's like Frank something. What's his name? Tom Sonoff, right? I was listening to him on a podcast, and he was just talking about how he kind of foresees, how does he think about, let me find this podcast. How does he think about his goals in regards to having a specific amount of percentage that he's aiming for the year, right? And he said you should be going like, 3 to 4 times the risk-free rate, which right now the risk-free rate on bonds is about 5% a year, right? So if you want to obviously you want to outperform bonds, so you want to be in that 20 to 30% yearly return, so then just thinking about my overall returns for this year, very low leverage. I'm above that risk-free rate, but I want to aim for, right? I want to aim for that 20 to 30% annualized return, right? So given that, if I don't want to increase my leverage, right? Obviously got to scale more capital, right? But I can also, I take that back. I guess, yes, I will eventually start scaling the leverage, yes. But just given how the prop firms are very tight within trading drawdown and such, I'm increasing my leverage in a different way. Not in each size of the contract that I'm doing it in, but now if I increase my leverage to 2 EA accounts, right? That's a way of me increasing leverage without increasing my leverage without increasing contract size, if that makes sense. Right, stacking some relatively equal highs inside of this 1 minute to be here. Right. So kind of thinking about that in mind, I thought that was a very interesting concept, right? Just in regards to what percentage I want to aim for. I don't really want percentage goals. Like, you have to hit this percentage. But just something to kind of strive for, That is definitely something that I want to strive for. So, it's kind of like just setting out for this goal and working towards it. So just thinking about being above that, risk-free rate and being in that 20 to 30% annualized return range. How can I get there? How can I get there? And yeah, I think it's time to start scaling a little bit more, in my opinion. Right? The funded accounts, they're gonna be there, right? And while I have them, we could take advantage of them now. And I don't think increasing it to 2 EA accounts is that much of increasing leverage. We're still only taking less than 0.5% risk every single trade. So if I'm looking for that 20 to 30% analyzed return, you know, we can get there a little faster once we're trading that 20 those 20 PA accounts, right? Those PA accounts, those funded accounts, you know. And with Apex new rules, right? Be anticipating, or not anticipating, but with Apex new rules, minimum 8 trading days between payouts, right? They don't have that timing that you have to request it by a certain date in the month anymore, right? It's just 8 trading days in order to request a payout. So, you know, would anticipate that I do create a decent amount of buffer in between the accounts because my trade frequency is so low. I think it's no issues, right? No issues scaling to 2 EA accounts at a time instead of just one. We might get a little shift to market structure up here. That's how I'll be looking for, right? In the same area, in this the short-term premium here. I think we're already above 50% of this little range here. Yeah. So just looking for any displacement now to the downside. We even generated more sell-side liquidity, relatively equal lows here. So now just waiting for that displacement to the downside. Preferably after we purge these relatively equal highs. That would be clean. Right, relatively equal highs here. Get that displacement to the downside. Right, with our aim towards these relatively equal lows. And this single sell-side liquidity low. Pretty reasonable. Right, we're coming up on that 10:30 turn here in the next 15 minutes as well. So definitely have enough time to form that shift in market structure. All right, so let's see us get past these relatively equal highs here, get that shift in market structure, and right, aim for price to purge the sell side liquidity down here. All right, but that's kind of just my mindset I'm thinking through in regards to, you know, adding. I can afford to add a little bit more leverage to my trading, in my opinion. Because I'm super disciplined with it, right? For many reasons, I feel like it's a good time to do that. But you know, I'm not even gonna say it's gonna work out perfectly, right? I wouldn't anticipate it to, but just keep doing the do, you know, keep doing the do. Stay very disciplined, and I think this will be a good thing in the end, right? All learning experiences. So excited to, right, increase leverage a little bit more. I think it's yeah, I think it's a good time. Yeah, let's see if we can get above these relative equal highs here, right? And then get that shift in market structure. That would be most ideal. Also, in regards to leverage, that I'm thinking of possibly working into next year, is sizing up into positions like this, where it's super clear we're getting very clean order flow. It's very one-sided. Possibly sizing up into these positions here. just kind of thinking about how that could also influence hitting that 20 to 30%, right? Instead of keeping the leverage the same, about sizing into more high probability, clean, very clean order flow setups. Like let's say for instance for that Friday setup. Yes, it is clean. Yes, we did purge that buy side liquidity, but not as, you know how we're doing the top down analysis, right? So we were anticipating all these shifts in market structure. There's multiple shifts in market structure overlapping each other, right? And it's very one directional where it's building up the sell side liquidity, or in this case sell side liquidity, but where it's building up liquidity, it's very obvious, right? So just thinking about those positions in mind, right? There are signatures where on days it's more high probability than others, you know. I knew this wasn't the highest probability setup, but it's like I'm willing to take the risk, right? So, you know, obviously not sizing up into these positions, but on setups that I'm very confident in, right? Possibly sizing up into those positions, right? And this could be after, you know, I'm not saying this right now. This is something that I'm just giving some headspace and thought to. But this could be after too, creating a buffer in the accounts, right? There's a lot of different levers you can pull on in this prop firm industry, in trading in general, right? There's a lot of different levers you can pull on, right? How aggressive you scale, how not aggressive you scale, you know, how increasing or decreasing contract sizing, you know, that could be that's another lever you can choose to pull on if you want to. A lot of different levers on like what accounts you go for, right? How you approach the EA versus the PA accounts. A lot like maybe just trading one account, not having it on the copier, having different accounts for different leverage. I mean, there's just so many different levers you could pull on, right? So knowing that, you know, just giving some headspace to the idea of increasing positioning on very one-sided moves like this. Very clean purge. Look at that, purge relatively equal highs inside of where we're anticipating price to shift, right? Which is in this 15-minute SIBI, which is also a 15-minute shift in market structure. Like just alignment, right? Overlapping confluences. Very clean order flow that you're anticipating is happening, you know. So those are like the clean days. And things of that nature, right? I think I'll have to look over all the data to make the final decision after getting this year's data, right? And then we kind of go from there. But that was kind of an idea I've just been giving some headspace to, of that possibly getting implemented next year. There we go, clearing those relatively equal highs, right? Good timing too. We might we might revisit this 1 minute SIBI right here, right? So be looking for some highs and lows to get put in. A good timing too, right? We're about 6 minutes out from 10:30 turn here, right? So we definitely got some time here to still put in some highs and lows and get that second shift in market structure. All right, let's see some highs and lows be put in here. right? Many different levers you can pull, though. Many different levers you can pull. And that's just something I've been thinking about. You know, going into next year, finishing out this year. You know, kind of thinking about how it's been going so far this year and such. Yeah.
I remember feeling like a stepchild, nigga. I would hate to see my mama stressed out, nigga. And Black Salmon tell me poke your chest out, nigga. I could die today, I made the set proud, nigga. And I could fly away, but I respect vows, nigga. Used to always say I make the whole world feel us. Now I'm on a tour around the whole world, nigga. Paparazzi waiting at my hotel, nigga. Smoking while I'm driving, that's with no else, nigga. 20 bands a month, just for your bills, nigga. Princess cut diamonds up in your grill, nigga. Now smile in every camera and show your trill, nigga. You feed them what you want, cause that's your kill, nigga. And through the darkest days, I was like, oh well, nigga. West side neighborhood against the whole world, nigga. I don't stress out, nigga. Poke my chest out, nigga. Wait on my show to bring the best out, nigga. Get it right or you get left out, nigga. Look, I never fold under mental pressure. I get better, ain't no code to y'all misconception. I'm just special, this an ode to my intersection. May God bless and save my soul from its imperfection. I can't measure with a number, all these niggas resting. Yeah. It's a lot, and you that young and witness life and death. You shell shot, but ain't no tears in water. Count up that low, count up that low. Nigga, count up that low, that's just what I do. Count up that low, nigga, what? Count up that low, count up that low. Nah, count up that low, count up that low. Nah, black on black beans, young niggas salute. Nah, gold Cuban links, just rapping my roots. Nah, blood, sweat, and tears, just squeezing my fruits. Nah, top of my game, and what's up with you? Nah, pop at you lames, cause I'm sucker proof. Nah, don't play no games, boy, I'm busted proof. Can't fuck with me, I don't fuck with you. You a fucking fraud, I'm the fucking truth. I went solo on that ass, I think I'm fucking Snoop. Solo in this game, I'm like fuck the group. Solo in my SLB, it's like fuck the roof. That's fucking true, that's fucking hoe. Nip motherfucker, looking like a hustler do. I built this label up just like Russell do. Give me 10 years, they gon' be like Russell who? Never trust them fools, get a fucking clue. I skip the memes, steal them fags, watch my fucking moves. I'm Birdman and blue chucks, watch my fucking shoes. On Suge Knight, I'm Jay Prince, I'm like fuck the rules. I'm Austin Rose, I'm Jonah Berger. This ain't black on black crime, but it's fucking murder. This beat ain't even mixed, but it's fucking perfect. They paid 100 for my
Right, painting a little bit outside the lines here, but we did clear some little minor buy side liquidity. Right, some small little relative equal highs that we created in that first push, after that first push up right here. That's why we're waiting for that second, right, for price to show that second shift in market structure. So being patient on that. Alright, I'd be surprised if we take that high out, alright, from the open, but, you know, if we don't get that second shift to market structure, maybe it's on the table. Just the thought of you.
Turns my whole world Nipsey blue.
Oh.
Just the mention of your name makes me wanna bang my game. Listen to me, homie. Nipsey Blue. 6 homie, I should forget you. Heaven knows I've tried. Homie, when I say that I'm glad we're through, less on myself, I know I've lied. I've lied. I've lied. Neighborhood Nipsey. 6 homie. It's been such a long time. Looks like I get you off of my mind, but I can't. Just the thought of you, just the thought of you. My whole world turns Nipsey Blue. 6 homie, oh I can't forget you. My whole world turns Nipsey Blue. Homie, I know my whole world turns Nipsey Blue. Homie, I can't forget you. My whole world turns Nipsey Blue.
How you doing, baby?
All right, so we're coming below that fair value gap again.
Play this. This the best.
Good timing too, right after that 10:30 turn here.
Very peaceful. You know,
But not yet putting in those clean highs and lows. All right, nothing quite yet. See if we can get a close below this
sweetie.
fair value gap, reclaim that fair value gap.
How proud me. But I love you now.
But no clean highs and lows just quite yet.
So much knowledge now. You're free, baby. Suck it to
It's
me.
amazing.
You know you're so beautiful. Very peaceful. Very peaceful.
You wanna go.
Very peaceful. Very peaceful. Yes, Lord. But I'm Damn, bet you got back. Looking like something that a nigga might tap. From Bib City, young niggas pulling jacks. North Face coat with a dirty ass strap. But me, I'm a Mac. I fuck with the hoes. Fuck the puss, bitch. I need a Bitcoin. You probably never knew, but the bitch been going. I don't give a fuck, love. Keep going. That's your pussy. You can do what you want. I use my brain, never hands on the hoe. I never trick off, and they already know. Polo lounge, white tee and some snow. Whip so new, valet didn't know how to park my shit, so I showed them how it go. I got family in the O, it's my cousin's little
All right, but we're just trying to catch a ride on. Trying to catch a ride while price is moving its way down here. You know, if there was like a little, oh, too bad we didn't have like little drawings, right? But basically, I kind of look at it as like the bus is going from A to B. We just gotta find a way to hop on somewhere along the train, right along its stops. We gotta figure out a way to hop on. Right, these are not a single low, so I would not consider this a shift in market structure. So this fair value gap is not valid. But let's see if we could trade back up here and then get displacement below, like let's say like this turns into a short-term low here, and then get a displacement below that low. Maybe we can catch that then. But we have to sit and wait patient for that, if that is gonna come to fruition. Right, looking for a single short-term low to form, short-term high, and then that displacement lower. But it's looking like we're reclaiming this fair value gap here. We just purged some relatively equal highs here, generating some more relatively equal highs. All right, so we got to sit and wait patient. Right, these are not relatively equal lows. All right, I mean, these are relatively equal. This is not a short-term low, right? This is not a single low, right? So this fair value gap's not valid just quite yet. Also, we just created more relatively equal lows as instead of a short-term low. So that's interesting. Be patient. Coming later into the session, so maybe no setup today, but we'll still read it. Alright, about to trade up into that overlapping here. That initial Sibby, as well as this Sibby here. Right? Possibly creating this short-term low here, right? So let's see if we can get some displacement away from this fair value gap here. Right? Why is this fair value gap not valid for me to take? Because we didn't get any displacement below short-term low. Right? These are relatively equal lows, so I don't consider that a short-term low. But let's see if we can get some displacement below this low right here. Also, I kind of realized last week or earlier or over the weekend that I don't necessarily need to put the drawing tool on there to create the limit orders. I don't know why. I mean, I was doing that for like visual reasons, but like it's so much faster to just go here and create the order like that. You know, I thought that was kind of funny that I always did that drawing when I could literally just go like let's say we're entering right above these relatively equal highs. You could literally just click it and just add it. I thought that was kind of funny. I was like, oh yeah, that would probably be so much faster and like more effective. And then just drag the stop loss and the TP from there, right? And I could just measure it like this, right? I thought that was kind of funny. Right, it doesn't look like we're gonna get that single high be put in here, and we are coming later on into the session, so maybe it doesn't come into fruition exactly how we anticipated, but nonetheless, good reads. I mean, this thing went over. Yeah, it went, I think, exactly almost 10 handles. 975. 9 handles, just under 10 handles from that first entry right here, but pretty solid reads. Honestly, I would still anticipate we get down below these relatively equal lows here, the sell side liquidity, as well as this single low here, but it is not showing signs that it wants to do that just yet, you know, which is all good. We have a lot of news going on this week. So NFP on Friday, bunch of red folders just sprinkled throughout. We actually got some 10 a.m. news tomorrow morning, so that should be solid. We'll see where we're at in reference to this opening price. Right, we should be able to make our way down here. I would anticipate we make our way down here, get that Tuesday low of week, Wednesday low of week before getting that expansion to the upside even higher for the weekly candle. But with that being said, it's about that time for the stream to come to an end. So I will catch you guys tomorrow. Appreciate everybody for tuning in, and yeah, see you guys tomorrow.